Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good afternoon and the honorable our lecturer Sir Henry and beloved all my friends. Today we from group 5. We will presentation about teach of novel. The first presentation from Recha Anjani to Recha. Time is yours.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Recha Anjani and I'm from PBI3. So today I want to explain about our material. It's about teaching the novels. Okay, next. Okay, the first material is about definition of the novels. The definition of a novel is a literary work in the form of prose and has both intrinsic and extrinsic forming elements. In Indonesian, novelist is a term for people who write novels that differentiate novels. What distinguishes a novel from other literary works is that the content in a novel is longer and more complex and doesn't have a structural limitation and rhythms. Novels usually tell about a human life that interacts or relates to the environment as well. Next. Okay, the next material is about the characteristics of novels. There are many characteristics of a novel. The first one is the number of words in the novels is more than 35,000 words and consists of at least 100 pages. Next, the duration of reading the novels is at least 2 hours. And examples are more than one impression, effects, and emotions. Next, complex storylines. Next, wider selection of words, and many sentences are repeated. And the last is written with a narrative and supported by a description. Okay, next. Okay, we talk about structure of novels. The first one is abstract. The summary part of the story found at the beginning of the novels. Orientation section explaining the time, setting, and atmosphere. Complication sequence of events associated with caution. Evaluation, the part of the conflict that occur at the complication stage. Resolution, the part that gives rise to the solution to the conflict. And the last coda, the ending of the story. Next. Next materials about types of novels based on nature. The first is fiction of literary works that do not occur in real life. And the second is non-fiction of literary works that have occurred in real life. Next material, next slide. Okay, we talk about intrinsic elements. The first one is them, is a main idea. The second, characterization, character of actor. Next, plot, events or storyline. The first is forward and backward. Number 4, language style is personification. Various kinds of inanimate objects that seem alive. Simile, parable, hyperbole, exaggerate of effects. Next, settings, there are time, place, and atmosphere. Number 6, point of view. And the last, mandates, moral message contained in a story. The last material is extrinsic elements. The first is outdoor biography. The second is situation and condition, three values in the story. There are moral values, moral or personality, social values, norm in society, and cultural values, basic problems concept, and the last, aesthetic values or relate to art in a work literature. Okay, I think that's all from me. Back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Korecha and Jani. The next presentation from me. Okay, I will explain about the part of a novel. In the novel, in number 1, irony in the novel. Schroeder in Stevik, 1967, defines the novel as an ironic fictional form. He said the novelist gives us the romance word in beginning of the novel and keeps his ironic distance from this world and this protagonist to the same level of reality in the end, where in the ironic distance between himself and the protagonist is nil. In number 2, the concept of plot. The concept of plot is very important to define the structure of a novel. R.S. Crane in Stevik, 1967, points out the fact that a real literary work of art includes three elements: action, thought, and character. These are the main elements in the structure of a novel. If the synthesizing element is thought, the novel has a plot of thought. If character, the novel, it is a plot of a character. If action, it is a plot of action. Next, number 3. Number 3, use of summary. Philip Bentley in Stefik, 1967, puts the techniques of narration into two groups as summary and scan. He says summarize are the parts linking passage which summarize the unimportant events, and summarize the past of the protagonist is summarized in the general without going into details. And number 4, distance and point of view. Let's in short speak about the implied author. They say that an implied author shares with his readers a common fund of background knowledge. They isn't on the fact that in order to understand in fictitious work, the reader and the implied author should share the general background knowledge. Otherwise, the aesthetic distance between the fictitious work and the reader makes it impossible to understand the experience. Next, number 5, the theory of the fictional chapter. A story can be read in the one sitting because it's very easy to grasp the form of it. However, a novel is a long narrative and cannot be read in one sitting and the grasp. It is from is difficult. Thus, the novel has to divide his into smaller units. The units are called chapter. Next, number 6, character in the novel. A novel is written for the sake of the main character, the protagonist, the unheroic hero, but we should also know the other characters. Okay, the last number 7, life and art. So finally, as for the relationship between life and art, Robert Scholar and Robert Kell say that as readers we can understand a work of art even the historical and cultural background of it, and they say that we should know what techniques, illustrative or mimetic representation are being used in the agreement with the confession of the time. They claim that we examine a work of art and we should know that the relationship between the real world and the functional world created by the author. Okay, I think enough. The next presentation from Putri Sela Paradila to Putri. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Putri Sila Paradela. I will presentation about teaching the novel. Next. Okay, teaching novel is one way to influence students' future habits, but what really is a novel? Next. Novel. The term novel is a truncation of the Italian word novella from the plural of Latin novellus, a late variant of novus meaning new. In uh, in teaching term and invite for narrative that is usually long, complex, and deal X with human experience how a user connected of even Mr. Webster. Next, selection. Factor affecting the selection. Student needs, interests, and abilities. The teacher's objective, interest, and time constraints. The right book for the right student at the right time but complex to exit. Okay, thank you. The next presentation from Kramat Gio.
Oi. Aku lagi kuliah lagi. Ayo dah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Approaches to teaching novels. Extensively emphasize quantity, intensively emphasis quality, fan reading, emphasis need or interest. A good literature program use all three approaches. Next. Next deal. Next. Yeah. Okay. The process of reading is a process of meaning correction by integrating one's own needs, understanding and expansion with a written text. Next. The process of reading is a process of meaning creation by integrating one of own needs, understanding and expression with a written text. Next.
Okay, thank you so much for Rahmat Giupangi. Before I close this discussion, do you have any question? Okay, I think enough. Thank you so much for your attention. I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.